Well, you guys made it to week 2.
Yes.
A big TV.
Yes. Mastering Astral Projection 90-day guide. Day 8. Week 2. And we'll have Steph come join over here. So yeah, let's go around the room. My name's Juice, and I am on day 8.
Awesome. Well done.
My name's Stephanie, and I am on day 8. As of day 8, yes.
All right, Steph, so we should go right into it?
So, well, do we want to give highlights of the reading? Or
No,
we can do
because
it
remember,
afterwards.
yeah, afterwards,
Let's do
yeah.
this first. Let's get it done. All right. Yeah.
Let's do it afterwards so we can add a few people here.
So affirmations, right?
All right, you guys ready for this?
I have something for everyone, for myself mostly.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, see, everyone knows about the Catholics have, prayer beads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have this, which coincidentally has 28. I was hoping for 30, but whatever. So 28, and I'll just count the little, clip twice. So that worked perfectly for me.
We'll have these on sale next week for $49.99.
Actually, on sale.
On sale for members.
If you guys
Remember
do,
discount. All right, let's do it.
All right.
And this is new.
This is going to be new affirmations.
so we're going to that page with the little box and the lines?
We're going to go to day 8,
Day
which is page 58.
Okay.
And then don't forget at nighttime, you can, if you downloaded the file, you can listen to the affirmations too. When I fall asleep at night, I put them on and then just listen to
Drift
it.
off.
It's on the CD.
It's on the CD, yeah.
And if you can't seem to handle the nightly affirmations like me, this is awesome. So this is headphones embedded inside of a sleep mask with, so you have a little headphone plug. So you put the affirmations on your phone from the CD, and then you put this on and sleep to it.
So it doesn't have to be in your ears.
Right, you don't
Yeah, I
have
don't
the
like that
annoying
feeling,
thing, or you
yeah.
don't have it
Right,
crunch and
yeah.
mess up.
Yeah.
In case you want to lay on
Or
your
fall
side
off.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we need to get that. That is cool.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I'm
Sleep phones, pajamas for your ears.
All right,
Yeah,
affirmation
so you
time.
know
New affirmations, so that's everyone's punishment.
everybody got it?
If they didn't
Yeah.
make it to day 8, they get to have 2 sets of affirmations.
Right. They can watch us on here and do it. Okay. Does everybody have the affirmation available? The morning? See it?
Yes.
All ready?
Right.
Okay. You got your beads ready?
I do.
All right. Here we go.
I
Seek to explore higher levels of consciousness.
I
communicate this desire to all levels of my mind and body. I attract the energies and influences that convert this desire into reality.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys notice, the evening affirmations is kind of tailored towards dreaming a lot, of like focusing on your dreams, so it's good to fall asleep. Should we read that one time each for tonight?
But we can do it so we don't have to do it tonight.
Oh, you're supposed to. You're supposed to read it right before you go to bed.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah, you
it'll
want that the
impact,
last thoughts.
it'll impact your dreams, and it'll kind of sink into your subconscious as you fall asleep.
Especially if you keep doing it over and over.
And you said the dude has it on the thing when you
Mhm.
listen to him.
Yeah, you can list it and say it too, and you want to try to do is, if you can, try to memorize it. Yeah.
But yeah, on the CD, they have actual MP3s of I think it's Brian Mercer narrating the affirmations.
All right, so let's do relaxation entire body, 5 minutes.
All right.
On the board. I don't think we should time the.
Okay, I would just go through the
Yes,
whole. the
It
whole
seems to be
sequence.
exactly 5 minutes if we do the.
All
count
right.
the seconds.
Get your feet ready.
All right.
Hardback chair ready.
All right. Toes pointed up to flex the calves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. 2, 3, 4, 5. Toes down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Thigh, upper thigh. So lift your legs. 2, 3, 4, 5. push your heel into the ground for your other
Stuff gotta
side.
relax.
Oh wait.
Yeah, we're missing the relaxing.
No relaxing.
I was like, I'm gonna go do this.
So, yeah, with the feet forward and then relax. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. It's all fun.
This will take about 5 minutes. All right, instructions are, take a long full body stretch and settle into your meditation space. Clear your mind and spend a minute observing your breathing, just like before. Now take 6 to 12 breaths, taking slightly deeper and fuller breaths each time. Do not strain your lungs. If you feel, but if you stretch it a bit. If you feel any strain, you are breathing too deeply. Take another 12 deep breaths, pausing normally between them. Then take another 6 to 12 breaths, gradually taking shallower breaths each time until your breathing returns to normal again. Spend another minute observing your breathing, and then move on to the next exercise. So that would be about 2 minutes of increasing and 2 minutes of decreasing. And then a minute of chilling and then
Right.
back to, then we're done.
So is anybody confused about that?
Little.
I think I'll have to repeat that for myself too.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so we're kind of gonna go in, you're gonna start, for the first minute, we're gonna observe our breath going in and out like we were doing before for the first week. And then the next few minutes, couple of minutes, we're gonna work our way up. So every time you take every time you breathe in, it's gonna be a little longer. And then let it out. And then the next one's gonna be a little longer, all the way up to 8 to 12. It's your choice.
6 to 12.
6 to 12, you can do it. So by the time you're hitting 12, you're taking really deep breaths, and then releasing it. And then
At some point you'll hit your max, and then you'll try again, you'll hit your max, then you've whatever number that is, 6 or 12, whatever. And then you'll start the reverse, which is to go from the maximum to just a little bit less, and another breath, a little bit less, but never so low that it was less deep than your norm. So that's why you have that first minute of knowing what your normal breath intake is, so you can compare it. You never get to like really shallow breaths, you just
Right.
in this one anyway.
So this felt good. Like this one I remember feels good. This is a good when you really get to learn how to do this. I enjoyed this one. It's a note from my first time going through the book.
And if you're a singer, I think it kind of doubles as one of those exercises that help increase your lung capacity. You want to set the timer for 5?
See, I don't understand though when he goes twice he says it.
Hmm?
That's still a little confusing to me. Like he does do it the first time and then take another 12 deep breaths. So I guess you're supposed to start over right away and start over.
He wasn't specific.
Yeah. See,
So-
does everybody see that?
It
Does
says
does that make sense to anybody?
take 12 normal, up to 12 normal breaths. Take 12 more breaths that are slightly bigger each time. And then he has a sentence
Yeah.
saying,
Take another 12 deep breaths,
without-
pausing normally between them.
well, it says specifies deep.
Yeah.
So I think that means hold it at your maximum without strain.
Oh, that's right. Hold your maximum. That's right. Okay.
Do we have to hold it?
No, just maintain
So you get-
breathing at your maximum capacity.
That's right. Yeah. So when we get to your 6 to 12, when you reach your peak, then you're gonna hold that for another 6 or 12 breaths before you start bringing yourself back down. So you'll be doing real long ones. So you're just gonna. Does that make sense to everybody?
It's like go up.
You're gonna go up and then stay up there and then come down. Yeah. Okay.
And and in between all your breaths, you just take a natural, normal pause. So you never hold your breath in this exercise.
Okay. And remember, the first minute is just concentrating on your breath coming in, and if you have the thoughts that come up, just kind of push them away and go right back to your breath. And here we go. I'm just going to start a little timer for 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Did anybody have any trouble with that, or want to say anything about it?
I'm surprised I have
Oh.
at least twice as much capacity as I've been using.
I started to get a little dizzy. It's been a while since I.
You
You did too. Yeah. Had to bring it down a little bit.
Yeah.
To
You
get
feel
lo-
centered though. You almost feel like you want to be in it.
Yeah.
And that's it, you know. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So the optional energy body stimulation leg work.
Good.
Ah, nice.
I should put a note. If you don't come with the brush,
Yeah.
because you get to buy the $50 brush.
Right.
You made a lot of money.
And if you need extra stimulation, you can bring a broom.
Body brushing.
Okay, so we're gonna do the legs. Do it by the book. Go through it. Start with
What
it.
says,
It's his
toes?
hand though.
It says here toes, feet, and legs. So,
Yeah.
I think way to shorten that. We could just do brushing on, because it says optional, right? So you're gonna check down.
Yeah.
Let's
So
just do brushing on the whole bottom of your foot from toe to heel. And brushing on, and then maybe for 30 seconds. And then 30 seconds on brushing the top of your foot, toe to ankle. And then we'll do 30
this is
seconds of
the actual
scrunching.
one.
I know, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to put it down.
So we'll cut it down. Yeah. So alright, steps. So we'll go.
So just brushing on the bottom of your foot, the sole, from toe to heel for 30 seconds.
Probably better.
You don't need the brush at this point. That's for the hand, for you.
I know, but I like it to get it going. Is anybody feeling the energy movement already from starting this already? Yeah.
Is anyone
Super.
not? That's a better question. Is anyone not feeling any energy sensations in their feet for this week?
Took me a while to feel my toe.
Yeah.
I also think it's probably because it's cold. If it's cold, you're more, kind of more stiffer. If you want to then
First time I was like, oh my god, I didn't feel my pink toes. After like squeeze it.
Oh, you're physically you couldn't feel your toes.
Yeah, physically when I touch it, not much sensation.
Uh-oh.
So I have to scratch it and squeeze it for a while.
So they just he calls them energy blockages.
No, she's not physical.
Oh, okay.
That's different. Probably coldness, like you said, yeah.
And the sensations should be stronger in the beginning, and as the more you do this, they get less and less. Because the more that you feel, it's supposed to be energy blockages.
Well, you'll start noticing the energy blockages over about a week or two.
Well, noticing it will be high energy movements as
Right.
energy blockages. So the higher energy that you have, the more movement, the more tingling and sensations that you have, most likely means you have more blockages.
To the point, because an actual big block will actually feel like a dull spot that won't move.
Yeah.
So you'll have your left foot sloshing away, it's doing great. Your right foot will have this little stiff point where you seem to really struggle to get anything through it.
Right.
You ever feel like those random like muscle spasm, like you see something moving, like one way you do
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna eat a lot of sugar.
What?
Yeah. When you get the little twitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're doing this, like you're
Oh, when
meditating,
you're
and then
doing
you
this.
suddenly your knee will
Yeah.
jerk,
Jerk.
or
Yeah.
your muscle that like you didn't even know it will start like moving.
Yeah.
I feel that on my foot.
Keep notes on that. Yeah. See how often, what part of the book where that's popping up often, where that happens.
No, whenever you're meditating or you're doing this,
Yeah.
you're doing this and you go in, you actually start feeling. As soon as you start relaxing, you'll feel that. I feel it's like almost like opening of the block. That's what I was
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
blockages, yeah.
On one level, it's like opening the block, but on another level, it's like your body's saying, "Oh, I'm not ready for that. Oh, I'm not ready for that," and it's trying to actually distract you and pull your attention back into the physical and away from that energy. Yeah, we can store a whole lot of trauma, even pain, emotional disturbance, and trauma in our energy body correlating to our physical body. And so if we draw attention to it, it's going to pull up that emotion. And our body might try to help us out.
Yeah.
You know, it's been storing it away from our attention all this time, and so it's trying to, distract you.
Distracted.
All right, so now we should try to feel it without.
Well, a note on energy blocks is I read that initially in week 1 we should ignore them and work past them, work around them, and
Right.
it'll be stimulated regardless. But so if you don't want to spend an extra 20 minutes fighting it and trying to get it, as long as you have any sensation, energetic sensation going on, you're good. Just move on to the next thing. But if you want to do real healing work, there's a lot of healing you can do just from like doing an extra step. Like you can stir, take your imaginary energy hand and stir in the spot that is dark or isn't moving much, and really loosen that up and go ahead and just kind of feel whatever comes. And what's neat for me, I'll have an energy block in my toe and I'll feel the like around here clench too. So something in there correlates to something up here energetically, and it can trigger anywhere in the whole body. So if you want to do this just for healing, it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems like people that do this course and then do it again, including myself, like you miss that, the energy flows and stuff.
You miss having
Sensations, yeah, yeah. The bouncing and stuff like that. All right, Steph, next.
Okay, so we did brushing on the sole.
Mhm.
Now you do brushing 30 seconds on the top. So pre-stimulate with a proper brush tool or your hand. Just enough to where you get a location idea of where your skin is.
Wake up, feet.
If you can't physically feel your feet at all, you might need to get checked for neuropathy. All right. Has everyone gotten far enough to know what sponging is?
I read that guy said he took a wet cloth and used it to
Yeah.
trace around.
That's for the outside. So if you picture a plant base that has strong curve shape, if you want to go to clean it, then you stick a sponge into the base and it expands on the lower portion, right? It squeezes through the tight portion and then the sponge expands in the bigger portion. And that's how you can really scrub and get, spin a little bit and get the whole thing clean. So sponging action is imagining an energy sponge, imaginary sponge, whatever, going through your hand or foot in the same sense. So it's not on the outside, it's the outside, bottom side, inside, left side, right side, the whole thing
So it's going through your finger, literally.
through. Right.
Through.
I think maybe you said you were stuck in day 2, on day 2 where they talk about like circling your thumb, and is this what you're talking about? You're supposed to imagine going inside your thumb or something?
If it's sponging, yes.
Yeah. On day 2, that's kind of what hung me up, because I wasn't doing that right. I thought,
Well,
I
we'll
don't
be
have that
doing
one down.
Yeah.
we'll be doing the hand today, which is even easier.
Mhm.
I think there's a purpose for doing the feet first. It's the strong energy area that really unblocks you and allows more energy to flow to the rest of you. But in general, the hand is more sensitive. So yeah, it's a really good thing we're together to do the hand so that you can really get the feel of it. So okay, so go ahead and give it a try to do the sponging on your feet right now, just to
Start from
warm
the
up.
toes. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just start bringing them in.
From the toe all the way to
Pretend
the
like you're
heel.
stuffing them
yeah.
in your
that's
feet,
it.
in your toes. Yeah.
Toes and in your
Yeah.
feet.
I enjoy the sponging. I think it's fun. And it feels like you're cleaning the glass out with a sponge inside.
So you're just imagining energy going in to clean.
Mhm.
No,
Or a
no,
sponge.
you're not imagining energy going in, because
Okay.
then that would be vague and, back in
Yeah.
visualization land, right?
Uh-huh.
We want to be really tactile with this. Imagine you're actually imagine you're physically putting a sponge through the interior of your foot. So you're actually getting all of the muscles, the tendons, the bone, all at once. Like, maybe an inch thick or something, as you pan through from the top to the bottom.
But it's all here, not with our hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
So you did the brushing so that you know the exteriors, the extremes,
Mhm.
and you can figure where the in-between is.
Now you can visualize one foot at a time if it helps, but if it's harder usually
Oh.
to do both at the same time. But if you put your feet close together, like Steph's doing there, it'll make it easier.
Move your feet together, then you can treat your feet as one giant foot and sponge both of them at the same time. And don't worry about the gap between your feet. That's when you separate your feet, that'll take care of itself. But it really helps to get started, to keep them together. And we don't have to be perfectionists and worry about like the exact gaps between the toes or anything. Just one big chunk.
So
Up and down.
my goal is to feel the energy up and down,
No.
that's the
Not
right.
yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
No, this is only.
This is just going to be back and forth from here with the sponge, your whole foot inside, the whole entire thing.
So I feel right here and
Back
here
and forth, yeah.
back and forth. Okay. If I feel it, then I do it correct, right?
So we started with just feeling the surface of your foot, and then we did just the bottom surface of your foot. Now we're doing the whole mass of the volume of the foot. Slosh it. Think of it like Jello. You're like sloshing it around, back and forth.
It's going to fill everything up inside your foot. It's going to stuff it in there and fill the whole thing up as it goes.
Moving.
Yeah, moving.
Moving.
You know, pretty like this, maybe like that speed. Not too fast, not too slow. Back and forth.
About 1 second per sweep. Jello. And then the legs. And do you think he means just the legs? Or he means the
like-
whole...
Yeah,
Oh, the
this one's
bounces.
this is the whole leg bounce. So from the
No,
foot.
no, it's not, because the next one's the bounce. See, the circumsections. So the legs here, just legs, and then over here we do the whole bounce.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, you're still on that one.
So now we're gonna do
Gotcha.
from your ankle up through your knees to your hip joint, and we're going to sponge from there to here. Throughout week 1, you'll be doing it more meticulously. You'll have just the brushing on the top of your legs, side of
So
your
we're gonna
legs,
go
bottom of your legs.
Like
So
that.
for this,
all
we'll
the
just
way
kind
up
of zoom through
and back down.
Yep.
And if you guys want to, you can do the sides on the sides, each one, and up and down. And if you need to, and then the other side too of your legs to get that, and then underneath it, all the way underneath like this, and back down.
But if you feel it, you don't need to do it.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
It's better if you don't need to.
Yeah.
It's more of a crutch to use a physical stimulation. And if and in week 1, you'll learn about splitting your awareness, so you can do both legs at the same time instead of having to only do one. Ah, Jason's here.
Okay. So now,
Maybe a minute of the bouncing.
okay.
You were doing brushing with the. You were doing brushing over there.
Mhm.
Let's do bouncing. Oh, sorry, not bouncing.
We're not
Sponging.
doing bouncing,
Sponging.
yeah,
That's right.
sponging,
Sponging from your ankle to your hip.
Okay, feel that sponge come back in again, your feet, and go all the way up to your heels, to your ankles, up to your knees, and then up to where your legs meet your, what's that part called? Hip, I guess. All right. So using sponging awareness actions up and down through the whole body, the whole of one leg from foot to hip, feeling it moving up and then down, as with the earlier whole leg sponging exercise. So this time the bounce from foot to hip and back repeatedly faster than you did before, so we'll be speeding this up a little bit. And your body awareness is capable of lightning movements flicking from one body part to another instantly, but not so when moving through the substance of the energy body. So it slowly increase the speed of the leg bounce action, and let's see, you're going to start feeling a resistance eventually because you're going too fast. So then slow it down a little bit so you can get that whole entire leg bounce feeling back and forth, and that'll be the speed that you'll be at.
If I could try to rephrase, yeah, so we're gonna go about 1 second on the upsweep, 1 second on the bounce sweep. Since it's bouncing, we're gonna literally just try to bounce and keep it kind of sloshing around, like about this rate. And then you'll speed it up, and you'll find that at some point when you go too fast, it'll just go feet hip, feet hip, feet hip, and you won't get anything in between. And that's not doing the course. You're not actually moving energy doing that. So you want to slow it down a little bit so you don't automatically skip from endpoint to endpoint. So you want to go as fast as you can without jumping.
And we'll do that for a couple minutes.
And for me, I kind of go a little bit past the feet, a little bit past the hip.
And eventually it should start taking off on its own after you're doing it. You won't have to put much effort into it.
But it'll continue. If you get it going for a little while and you stop suddenly, it'll keep going without you. And it'll taper off just like water. And unless you're trying to keep count of the seconds, you can talk, you can be listening to other things, you can be at the computer while you do this. You do not need to be in a trance state to be able to split your awareness and kind of do this, but also be doing something else. You can be in line at the post office. All right.
Does that feel good for anybody? Feeling good?
Does that not work for anybody?
Well, I hope I have to lay down like my legs straight. I feel more sitting down like this. I don't feel more.
Feel, yeah.
It's always bothered me about the knee.
You-
Like, so am I supposed to kind of like whoosh it in a curve, in an arc to just ignore the exact shape of the knee? Or should it be real meticulous and go only with the exact,
Yeah.
musculature of the knee joint and where and then up again where the foot is. For me personally, I just kind of ignored it. I'll just kind of swish it and average them out because we're really just stimulating the energy body, not the physical body anyway. So the more you become aware of the energy body, as long as you feel it. If you don't feel it yet, then stick with the physical form. But if you do, then I would say just go ahead and average them out and slosh away, whatever works, to get that movement sensation. Because for me, if I had to sit there and think about, oh, well, now it's arcing, oh, my foot is technically in an arch shape, so should I go slower on that part so I can get it just right? Then I'll never get the speed up.
That's what Robert says about the bouncing. The bounce action starts to become almost automatic after a while. The body's intelligence and or subconscious mind takes over the bounce. You will find that when you stop a bounce action, it will try to continue on its own. Try this and you'll see what I mean. The longer you've been doing a bounce action, the more noticeable this becomes. This is a very useful phenomenon as it makes energy raising and storage easier. Alright, staff, off to...
That was the day 7 reference. So now we're back on day 8, if you're on the other page.
And we're heading to our new thing for today, our energy body stimulation, page 59.
Page 59 on day 8.
So we're going to do hand work today.
Alright, we get the brush now. This
Oh,
part.
brush.
My favorite day. Alright, so this is when we begin the hands. On week 1, we just kind of lightly touched on it to get the idea, and then mostly focused on the feet and legs the whole rest of the week, right? This week begins the hands. Alright, 10 minutes or so. Spread the fingers of your left hand slightly and use a brushing action on the top side of each finger from fingertip to wrist for 30 seconds per finger or thumb. So again, that was use a brushing action on the top side of each finger from fingertip to wrist. So so he's taking fingertip a little loosely. It includes the whole palm. Outer palm. So your paintbrush is actually better for this one. So with your mind's imagination, you'll pretend you have a paintbrush and use your actual finger if you need to scratch or rub to get the idea of where that is, or use an actual paintbrush. What's cool about the paintbrush is that it softly arcs over your hand, right? It's not one point, so it gets all that at once. And that's what you should be doing when you imagine a paintbrush. You're not going with a little pinprick of sensation. You're going for a whole topical, the top of the skin, top half of your finger, I guess. So maybe just 10 seconds because it's, or it actually says,
30
it
seconds.
says for 30 seconds per finger or thumb.
Yeah, I can do the 30-second mark.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
All right, start with one eye.
That's the pre-stimulation. You need to be done.
Slacker.
And just like with the feet, some tricks if you're having any trouble. You might take your other hand and point at it. And something about that really helps.
Next finger.
Oh, it's time's up, yeah. Next finger. So pre-stimulate the next finger over with a paintbrush or your nail. And then brush away for 30 seconds. And this doesn't need to be a visual exercise at all. You can just feel as if you have something that's recreating that exact same sensation.
Next finger. First finger, other hand.
No, same hand, bottom side. So now we're on step 2, on day 8 of handwork. Turn your hand over and repeat step 1 on the underside. Remember to go to the wrist, not just the finger.
Okay, next. That's all that hand.
Step 3, use a wide brushing action to stimulate the back of your hand. This is where the big brush comes in handy.
Yeah.
Cover all fingers from the, and go ahead and close your hand, close your thumb. So cover all fingers from the tip to a few inches above the wrist for 30 seconds or more per hand. It says or more per hand, but then it never said anything other than left hand.
Yeah, otherwise you run out of time. Because it's 5 minutes just to do the fingers on each side.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you see that. So that was the left hand. Then we, I guess, we do our right hand, only doing the same thing, brushing the whole hand at once.
Okay.
For 30 seconds.
So I'm gonna brush the right side.
Yeah, the whole hand on the back of your hand, on the other hand.
And that one we skip the individual, right?
Apparently.
Yeah.
The way it's worded is it has to be in by time. You just say that this whole thing,
Right.
and even more steps below it, take only 10 minutes. So he must mean to just kind of generalize.
30 seconds.
Okay. Use a wide brushing action across all fingers from side to side, covering all fingers. Oh, right. So we're going across the hand, like so. Show the camera. Step 5, perform the same process you did with the soles of your feet, but on the palms of your hands. First, use a light, mobile stirring action, moving this action about until you have covered the whole of the palm of each hand, including the undersides of all fingers. So what he's referring to is in week 1, on the foot, we would stir about 1.5 inches diameter with your imaginary finger to, and it's not just the topical part, it's like the sponge, or I guess a portion of the sponge, where you're going through the interior of your foot, and in this case the hand, to really stir that section up. And then move that kind of vortex around. Don't ever like stop and go, just stay there, keep swirling, like you're stirring, like you're cooking and you're stirring something. And you want to get every section, and just kind of move it around in a pattern until you've covered the entire hand, including all the fingers.
And you're gonna be going clockwise.
Yes. I think a lot of us naturally drifted to the other hand. That's better, yeah. It didn't actually specify which hand. So
Yeah.
I would go for the left hand since we pre-stimulated it.
Right.
And just like the others, it might help if you take your other physical hand and point, so you can help imagine where that's coming from. And you get this interesting magnetic sensation when you do that. It's like the aura of the other hand is interfering and stirring for you.
Okay, it's about a minute now.
Alright, I would say stir the other side. It
Yeah.
doesn't really specify.
The other side will be counterclockwise, right?
No, we always do clockwise.
Clockwise is for
Clockwise?
energy building.
And if I do the opposite way, also clockwise?
Clockwise too, yeah. It might be a little different with a different finger, but yeah.
Yeah, clockwise movements are traditionally for building energy. Counterclockwise are for releasing things.
So how do you do the right hand like this?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or
yeah,
maybe a
what's
little
funny
bit
about that is it depends which way you hold your hand. If you do clockwise on your palm, then it's this way. If you do clockwise on the back of your hand, it's the other way. So it's looking at your palm. Clockwise that way.
We gotta do some
Right.
discussion too.
Then use a wide brushing action back and forth from a few inches above the heel of the hand to the fingertips, covering the entire surface of the palm and undersides of all fingers. Maybe just do 15 seconds on each hand, that way we can get through both.
Well, it's 30 seconds. Switch hands.
Oh, that was 30?
There were 15 Stephanie seconds.
See where my flaw comes in? Step 6, finish by using a large sponging action through the whole of each hand from the fingertips to just above the wrist. It's maybe 30 seconds piece.
Sure.
So sponge from the tip of the fingers to just above the wrist.
Seconds. Switch.
Switch hands, sponge the other.
And 30.
And last step, 7, Split your awareness and repeat step 6 on both hands simultaneously. Once you get the hang of this exercise, you can save time by splitting your awareness from the beginning. So yay. So both hands at once. And one of the tips from earlier was you could put your hands right next to each other, and that's perfectly fine.
Just don't touch it. That's good.
All right. Check in on the phone here. Put this in. All right, you still with us? Cool. So all you really missed on week 1 is doing that same kind of thing to your feet. All right, so now we're going to... we'll just read the daily tip real quick. So day 8, daily tips. Robert Bruce says, the process for hand and finger stimulation is similar to that used on the feet. Some find it easier to do early finger and hand exercises by looking at each finger during stimulation. This is permissible, but please discontinue using your eyes for this purpose once the techniques are learned. And same with the brush. After a while, anything from a few seconds to a few minutes during the first attempt, you may start feeling a localized heaviness, pressure, tingling, buzzing, or even bone-deep tickling sensations inside your finger joints. This may extend into more of your hand. The palms, like the soles, are particularly sensitive and can produce very strong tingling and tickling sensations. If these become too strong, rub your hands together, making fists or clapping helps ease the sensations. Brian Mercer says, as with your first day of toe work, you should stimulate each finger one at a time. In the days that follow, you can stimulate all the fingers at the same time, especially if they all respond well. Which means if some level of energy movement sensation becomes apparent. If you notice some energy blockages, you might spend a little extra time on the finger or thumb in question. When I first did hand work, mild energy pulses spontaneously shot through my right thumb for several days. This disappeared with more energy work. And that
Week 2, day 8.
we've made
Yay, guys.
So in perfect land, everyone has made it through day 8 with us, and has also even read the week 2 chapter.
Which I have.
Yay!
You guys are the Navy SEALs of out-of-body experience. Congratulations.
Yeah,
All right. So we can grab some tea and then have some discussions on the pre-discussion for this week, and then just come. You can leave anytime you want, and we'll just continue from there. Bathroom breaks, whatever.
And we'll also share if everyone's probably brought
their dream journals.
If you bring your dream journal, it'll remember what happened. Say like, oh, I had a lucid dream, or I had. And it'll be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because you guys will be
Probably
excited
not.
to tell about it.